In this video, I'm going to be going over how to stay motivated when studying for a certification exam. My name is Andrew Ramdiel, and I'm the author of this book, PMP Exam Prep Simplified, which is an Amazon bestseller. Now, over my career, I have taken over 100 certification exams, and I have over 60 different certifications from a wide variety of vendors: Microsoft, Cisco, PMI, ISE Square, ISACA, and many, many others. A lot of IT and project management stuff. And one of the things that a lot of students have always asked me is, hey, Andrew, how do you stay motivated when taking exams? Because if my students know me well, I'm always studying for some kind of exam. In fact, I'm studying for one pretty much now. So how do I do it? How do I keep myself motivated? So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that I use to keep myself motivated. Now, the last one I've been preaching to you guys over and over. So if you have ever watched any of my videos, you probably know the third one already. But let's get into this. So tip number one to stay motivated is to always see the end goal and write down that end goal. You must have a good vision of what the end goal is. Now, let me explain what this is. So when you decided to take a certification exam, there had to be some particular reason. What is that reason? Maybe the certification would have gotten you a brand new position. Maybe it's a big career change. Maybe it's a big increase in salary. Maybe it's ability to switch from this organization to this organization for a better work environment. What is the reason? Why did you decide to take the exam? At some point, you were motivated to go out and spend the money to buy the materials or the class or the books or whatever it is to actually start studying for the certification. But as time has progressed, you probably lose that motivation and decide, I don't want to do this anymore because you feel like you can't, or you couldn't make the time, or you just didn't want to do it anymore. That's being demotivated and you forgot your end goal. So here's what I want you guys to do. Here's what I actually do. Now, every time I study, I'm an old school studier. I write books. Yes, I do write books, but I literally write books when I study. So when I study, and this is just my way, I'll do another video on another day in my methods of actually studying. But what I do is I write books. So what I do is I get a little notebook, and I have a bunch of little notebooks like this, little pencil. And what I do is I go to the first page of the book. So let's say, I don't want to show the first page here because I am studying for an exam of this book. I go to the first page of the book and I write the goal. So I write the goal. And this is going to be, again, in the first page. And then I write all the main goals, maybe increase in salary, better job, new company, new career, the ability to progress up the ladder, whatever it is, whatever motivated you to start studying for this particular exam, write it down. So, and this is something you're going to see every time you pick up your book. In fact, there was one certification exam that scared the hell out of me many, many years ago when I was much younger, the CISSP. Now I'm a teacher of that exam. And I had written down all the goals in Paint, made a background picture of it, and stamped it on the back of my computer as a wallpaper, so I never forgot it because that exam scared the hell out of me, and I was getting pretty demotivated. What that does is that I always see the goal. I'm always seeing what is it that I'm trying to accomplish. You see, a lot of times when you're studying for exams, like when I was studying for my CISSP 15 years ago or 17 years ago, was you tend to lose that motivation if you have to study for a very long time. So some exams are like you study for like a week or two and you're done. Well, it's easy to stay motivated when you only have to study for a week or two. But when certain exams require weeks upon weeks of studying, or months upon months of studying, in that case, it's easy to lose the motivation because you have to keep doing it every single night, every single weekend, and you lose the vision of what is it you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes the damn tunnel is so long you can't see the light at the end of it and you're driving and then you just give up. I don't want you to do that. You have to keep that vision always ahead of you. I want you guys to think right now for yourself. Think right now. Say this to yourself. With this certification, what am I going to get? And keep that in your head. Remember, guys, every day you're not certified. You're not making that extra money. Every day you're not certified. You're not getting that new position. Somebody else has taken that position from you. Every day you're not certified, you're losing that opportunities that could have been there for you. So write them down. Maybe make it a wallpaper. That's what I did at one point. Why? Because that exam scared the hell out of me. And you know what? That kept me motivated. Keep the goal in mind. Always see the end goal. Don't think of the path to study. I'll give you guys a little analogy. Is this what this is called? You know, they say the hardest thing about going to the gym is actually going to the gym, like physically getting up and going to the gym. When you're in the gym, it's pretty easy to go. It's pretty easy to start exercising, right? The hardest thing about studying, let's be realistic, is actually start studying. When you're actually in it and you're reading your book and you're doing your practice questions, watching your videos or whatever, it's pretty easy to stay there. But to actually make the effort to do it. So if you keep the vision in mind and you keep thinking of your goals, and every day I want you to watch these goals of what is it you're trying to accomplish, this new job, new money, new business, whatever it is. You know what? Then you're going to go and you're going to study yourself. So tip number one, guys, always see the end goal, write down the end goal and keep it in mind. Now, tip number two, and this is going to sound kind of odd. Plan your life like you have passed your exam. What does that mean? So this is going to be odd. This is something that I do. My wife always drives, she said I drive her crazy with these things, especially as my career was building. And what I would do is I would set goals. So I would say by the end of March, for example, let's say I'll be CISSP certified, I'll be CISA certified, I'll be PMP certified, whatever it is. And I'll say, okay, in April, this is how we're going to live. I'm going to have this better job. I'm going to have this more money. I'm going to be teaching this new class. I'm going to be writing this new book for me personally. So I would tell her, okay, let's plan our life. But we're not going to really spend any money, but we're going to make a lot of plans like I already have this certification. So it was a way of making me think or making me feel like I've already passed it. So you should, let's say, and the way you can apply this is, let's say you're studying for a PMP exam, and a PMP, being PMP certified would get you a 20% increase in pay. Or maybe it'll get you that brand new position that you're going to be less stressed. So what you should do right now, let's say you're going to take your exam in a month. Well, in 5 weeks from now, maybe you should start planning your life as you have that 20% increase in pay. Maybe you make some plans to get yourself a brand new car. Maybe you make some plans to book yourself a little vacation. Now, don't actually book the vacation and buy the car if you haven't passed your exam. But what you're going to do is you're going to plan your life like you're going to do that. You're going to come up with little plans, and these little plans that you're making is going to make yourself happy. It makes me happy to know that, you know what, I'm going to have this new money in my pocket. I'm going to have this new job. And it makes me so happy to know that in April, I'm going to have all these great opportunities to me, all these jobs I'm going to apply for. Sometimes I remember one time I was making resumes. Updating my resume as I already had the certification, yet I was still studying for it. I already added to the resume, I already put in all the new knowledge I had and the new potential accomplishments I had, even though I didn't even take the test yet. But it makes me happy to let me know, hey, with the certification, this is what I'm going to do, and it keeps me motivated. Now, tip number 3 is set an exam date. You know, this is something, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you've heard me say, always set an exam date. When I start studying for an exam, I tell students, I would set an exam date before I even buy the book. Now, certain exams you can't do this for, right? You can't do this for a PMP because you need to study, get the 35 hours, do your application, blah, 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 then you can schedule it. But certain certifications like CompTIA certs, Microsoft certs, ISC Square certs, lots and lots of vendors, especially IT vendors, and many others, you can actually go and schedule your exam before submitting any application. And even with PMP, you finish a course, you get your application, you schedule your exam right away. So what I do is I would set that date. So let's say I would set it to March 31st. And either I'm studying or I haven't even begun to study. For me, most of the time, people say, Andrew, how are you able to take so many exams? Because I set a goal. I say to myself, I want to be ABC certified by March 31st. I don't even go to Amazon to buy the book. I don't even look at the sides of the book. I don't even look at the materials. Here's what I do. I go to the certification vendor website, Pearson VUE website, whoever it is. I pay for the test. I schedule the test. I work it backwards. Okay. So I schedule the test. Again, I don't even know what the hell is on this. All I know is I want that certification. That's all I know. I schedule it. I pay the money. And then I go to Amazon. Then I start doing research. How the hell do I pass this test? So then I acquire the resources. Then I start studying. Now, some people say, hey, Andrew, you're crazy to do that because what if by March 31st it was too much to study? Big deal. I just moved the test. When I start studying, I'm a week or 2 weeks into it. Then I realize, hey, this exam is way too hard to finish in 3 weeks. So you know what? I'm going to move the date to April. Or maybe, and this has happened quite often, was I set it to a date a couple of months later. And then I realized, hey, this exam is pretty easy. I could take this exam in a month or maybe 2 weeks. And then I move the date closer to the current date. So I'm always manipulating that date. You see, if that date isn't set in stone, if that date is not there, you will not study. You will keep pushing it off. I'll study tomorrow. I'll catch up. How many of you guys ever said this? Oh, I'm not, you're supposed to study an hour on Monday. And then you say, I'm too tired tonight. I'll study 2 hours on Tuesday. Tuesday come around, I'm too tired. I'll study 3 hours on Wednesday. By the time Friday, you're up 5 hours. By the time Saturday, and you're going to study 5 hours, so we're going to spend 10 hours studying on Saturday? Probably not. Now you're way off your study schedule. But if you know that exam is actually set in stone, it's scheduled, and every day you're not studying, you're gonna feel real bad because you're gonna feel the impact on your wallet because God forbid you fail that test. So hopefully you guys enjoy these tips. These are my 3 tips, guys. I'm always seeing that end goal. That's how I keep myself motivated because I see the end goal. I plan like I have the certification already. And of course I have my exam date and I just keep studying. I think when we see that end goal, we understand what the goals are and we never lose sight of the goal. We ourselves will be motivated to pass our exam. Okay. Hopefully you find this video pretty helpful. If you really like it, hey, click the like button. I would really appreciate it. If you like my content, please subscribe to the channel. I would also really appreciate that. I'll make some more videos on this. I'll make another video on how I particularly study using my little notebooks and my pen. I'm not sure if these are still valid in today's digital world, but that's what I like. I'll make a video in another time with this, and I'll see you in the next video.